Today we're going to talk with Seth and Nathan from Drone Lawrence. And I feel like every time it snows, I try to go up on the roof of the ECM, just kind of like take in the views. And these guys are a lot better at that than I am. You can check out some of their photos on their Instagram page, and I'll link to that when we get started. Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How about you?
Good.
Doing well.
Good. Cool. So which of you is Seth and which of you is Nathan?
I'm Nathan, and that's Seth.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us.
Cool. Yeah, so Drone Lawrence. Yeah, what does that mean? What do you guys, what does Drone Lawrence do?
Yeah, so it kind of started out, I graduated in 2018 at KU, and my senior year, I was in the Anschutz library, and I just created an Instagram page just for fun. You know, I've been droning for a couple of years, and I just wanted a place to kind of share my stuff. And, you know, it was a fun little place, like a fun hobby, and then it kind of slowly turned people reaching out and asking for, you know, drone footage of their apartment or restaurant, things of that nature. And I didn't really have any business experience when it came to that. And that's kind of where Seth came in. He works at Free State, and he asked me to do a video for their restaurant and brewery. And ever since then, we just kind of formed a partnership. And yeah, we do drone videos and photography for companies. And we also do a lot of nature stuff, kind of like you mentioned when you were getting started, all the snow and just things around that people like to see from a aerial perspective.
Yeah. Cool. And so, so this started as a hobby. Do most people who are in the sort of like the drone business, does that begin as a hobby for them as well? Or, because I know that it's not just about sending a camera up and taking a photo, or because you've got to have the right equipment, but also photography skills. So.
Right. Yeah. I would say that, I mean, while most people, it kind of starts as a hobby, I think you have to really like the process in general. I mean, to me, it's not really about the drone, about the editing and just the, you know, the presence that you have on social media after the fact. So I think it's just different for everybody, but at least for us, it's still fun. Although we make money off of it sometimes, it's still a hobby for us.
Cool. And how about you, Seth? How'd you get into this?
Yeah, so I was living at one of the apartment complexes downtown, and I was down there getting a morning coffee, and there was a drone video playing on loop of the apartment complex, and I was like, wow, this is pretty good. This is better than stuff that I'm used to seeing. And so I saw the Instagram handle in the bottom corner. It just said @DroneLawrence, and so I just shot him a message on Instagram and said, hey, you know, I work for Free State Brewery. It'd be cool if you could come and make a video for us. And then after that, we just started working together. I had been flying drones when I was in college. I graduated from KU in 2010, and that was back when like you'd fly a drone and it was a 50-50 chance that it would just plummet out of the sky. You know, the technology wasn't that great.
Yeah.
So I had taken a few years off, and then I met Nathan and kind of watched him fly his drone and went out and went to Best Buy and bought mine. And it was like, blew me away how much better drones have gotten. You know, you got to try to crash it at this point.
Yeah.
So he has all the video editing skills and stuff like that. And I have a background in photography. I've been doing free social media since 2008. And I do a couple other social medias around Lawrence as well. So the photography portion was more interesting to me just because I didn't have a video background. But just being able to drop raw footage on Nathan and then he makes really cool videos out of it. It's like, all right, yeah, this is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you just have the two drones, one each, or what kind of?
Yeah. So I think right now I had 3, but now I'm down to 2. I lost one down in Atlanta. That was a sad story. So I have 2, and I think you have 1. Right?
I have 1, yeah.
Yeah, we have ones that, you know, are our main ones, but also, you know, we had a smaller one for indoor shoots. We had an indoor shoot for Watkins Museum last year. It was super useful for him. Just like Seth mentioned, the technology, like they're making the drones so much smaller, but like so much more powerful. Like it's insane. Like I'm excited to see like where the technology will go in the next couple of years, because they just keep getting smaller, but there's a lot to them. So yeah, right now we have 3 total within Drone Lawrence.
And they have cameras built in, or you have to add your own camera?
Yep, the cameras are built in, and they're all like 4K, like really top quality cameras.
Okay. And or how are they controlled? Like a remote control car type control?
Yeah,
Oh,
kind of what it is, it's a remote control that you hook to your phone via USB, and there's an app that you download with it. So you're controlling the drone through the controller, but you can see all of the views that the drone's looking at through your phone, and a whole bunch of other controls. But yeah, so it's a combination of a remote control and your phone or your tablet.
okay. Cool. So what are some of the restrictions like here in Lawrence?
Yeah. So the number one restriction is the airport. So there was one company that we were going to do a shoot for over in North Lawrence, and everything was going great. And then, in the talking phase, and then we got over there, and it was like, you can't take off. This is a no-fly zone. So the FAA will draw no-fly zones, either permanent or temporary. And when we say no-fly zone, it's like if you're flying in the middle of the air and you're trying to go over Memorial Stadium when a KU basketball or KU football game is going on, it's like you run into a brick wall in the sky and you can't go. Yeah, you can't go past it. Now, if I wanted to go fly over Memorial Stadium right now, that would be totally fine because there's nothing going on there. But they'll draw those no-fly zones over sporting events or things like that for 4 hours, 6 hours on game day.
Right. And yeah, kind of. Oh, go ahead.
Are not determined by the quality of the football program.
Yeah.
Not in Lawrence, at least.
Okay. So I'm sorry, what are you going to say, Nathan?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna piggyback on what Seth said. We're both like licensed pilots. There's like a test that you have to take through the FAA that has a lot of information and really ensures the safety. I know like a lot of questions we get from people who also have drones are kind of wondering why they can't take off in a certain spot. And I always just say that you have to be registered. You have to know the rules when you're flying, and just because the FAA, like that's a government entity that you don't really want to mess with. So it's good to be on their good side. So yeah, anyone that wants to drone, I would just encourage them to get their FAA Part 107 license and just be safe with it.
Okay, so there's some territory like the football stadium and the airport that you can't go over. Are there height limits, or is that just based on the ability of the drone?
No, there is a FAA high limit. 400 feet is the max that you can fly your drone. Sometimes we wish it was a little bit higher, but that's the max that we can get up to. So you got to work within their parameters.
And that 400 feet is off the ground, or?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. From off the ground.
So if I can you tell me the difference? Like, I think that Target, for instance, sells drones that you could buy for a kid, and I don't think I'd have to get my kid a license to fly that. So, like, tell us the difference between sort of like an off-the-shelf drone process and what you guys have to go through.
Yeah, so the majority of that comes down to the weight of the drone. The exact number is not in my brain right now, but there's a certain weight limit. If your drone's heavier than that, you have to get it registered. And when it comes to licensing, you don't have to be a licensed pilot at all. But if you want to make money, if you're selling your footage to another company, that's when you have to be licensed. But as far as registering your drones, yeah, it has to be over a certain weight limit. If you're under that weight limit and just flying for fun, just around your neighborhood, like one you can buy off the shelf, yeah, that's completely fine. The majority of the time when you buy, a drone like we have, there'll be like rules and stuff within the drone that you'll kind of see when you download the app. So they make sure that you really know the information, when you start out.
Okay. So, one of these higher quality drones, higher weight drones, like when you open it up, it's not ready to fly, like as soon as you put the batteries in.
Yeah, not necessarily. It comes with, depending on which drone you get, it comes with about 2 or 3 batteries, I'd say. And so they're like bigger. I should have brought my drone down here. Oh, you have yours? Okay. Well, there's a battery that comes, in and out of it that you just charge through a normal USB or just like a normal power one. And do you have the battery in there?
No, it's in the car.
Oh, okay. But the battery goes in that port right there, and then that usually takes like 30 minutes to charge around there, and then you get, depending on the drone, I know mine, I get about 30 minutes of flight time per battery.
Okay. And
sub-zero temperatures. I was just out flying over the Kansas River yesterday trying to get some stuff, and it cuts the battery life like in half. Had to be quick doing it.
Well, and what's the sort of maintenance process like?
Yeah, I would say the maintenance process, a lot of times, like on my drone, it's mainly just the camera and the gimbal. This one doesn't really have a gimbal, but mine has a gimbal on it that's very, it has to, it's like free weight. Does yours have a gimbal on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can see right here, like this is like very loose as you're flying. And sometimes things can get stuck up there. And like this is what the camera's on. That's what all the, really the stuff that people see on social media and in the videos, that's what it comes from. So I say the maintenance is really, and every time that that I'm done flying, it's, making sure that the propellers aren't messed up and really just ensuring that safety as far as the flight, because that can mess up everything and could fall from the ground if one little small thing's messed up.
Okay. And Seth, what are some of the businesses that would use drone footage?
Yeah, it's all over the map. When we started out, at least in the collaboration portion of Drone Lawrence, in my mind, it was going to be bars and restaurants and places with outdoor dining, because that's my background is in the restaurant industry. And now it's gone so wide, real estate agents, if a real estate agent has a large property that they're trying to get sold, having a drone photo to show the entire property, or say it's like on a lake, and the only way that you can see the proximity to the lake is from a drone photo. Construction's another steady revenue producer for us. There's a new factory going up on K10 by the Lawrence Venture Park, and literally we just fly around the factory once a week, taking photos and videos, and submit it to the construction company, and then they pass it off to their client and say, hey, you're based in New York City, but here's what's going on your project in Lawrence, Kansas, and it's a good way to keep everybody.
Cool. Great. And what are your do you guys have like a couple of your like favorite shots that you take in?
Yeah, I would say we should have had them on the table here, but probably my favorite one of all time is when we posted last April. It was of the Campanile, and it's just like, it was probably our favorite. People could probably tell by all the things we posted, when we're droning at sunset, because that's usually when you get the best shots. And the sunset last April on campus was just like a perfect hue of like purple and just like everything combined. Yeah, you have it right there. Yeah. If you can see that. Yeah. So that's definitely my favorite shot. We started selling our shots on our website, and that's without a doubt our number one bestseller. That's my favorite. I don't know what your favorite is, Seth.
There's one of Fraser Hall, like a silhouette image of Fraser Hall.
Oh yeah.
That one, I woke up and could tell that it was going to be a pretty awesome sunrise, and scrambled to get in my car, half awake, drove probably over the speed limit to get up on campus, and got my drone up in time and was able to like capture the shot that I had in my mind. And so when something like that pans out, it was pretty rewarding.
Yeah. Journalists often, are out to dinner with their friends or whatever, and they get a text message that's some breaking news, and they're just like, "I'm sorry, I'm out of here. Got to go to work."
Yeah.
When all of a sudden there's like a great sunset or something, or you guys like.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I actually live in Shawnee, just outside of Kansas City, and Seth still lives in Lawrence. And, I think it was like this summer, every time like I was out walking my dog, I would just like see this guy. I would text Seth, be like, "Yo, you see the sunset right now? Like, we got to get some shots." So there's definitely, every time.
And like Nathan said, you fly your drone and your phone is a component of it. So I think he would probably realize if I didn't text him back within 10 minutes that I was probably flying.
Yeah. So it's just like every time that something is like, I don't know, if it's a sunset or a sunrise, you usually see the sunrises before I do. We're always trying to get the shots if we can.
And what other cities have you worked in?
So other than Lawrence, so I live in Kansas City. So we've had a few clients out here, and we're really heavy on the Super Bowl content 2 weeks ago. So that other than Kansas City, I'm trying to think
Topeka.
of it. Yeah, we did Topeka. We have one of our biggest clients in Topeka. But yeah, other than that, I mean, we just try to stay pretty much local with it. So this isn't like it's not our full-time job. So it's you know, kind of hard to travel outside of our work. So we try to stay pretty local.
So then is your license regional? Like if you got a job, you know, outside of the Midwest, would you be able to like operate and take photographs and sell them from there?
Yep, anywhere in the United States. Each license is good for 2 years. So I'm coming up on my renewal, and you just take like a similar test, and then yeah, you're good for the next 2 years, and you can go anywhere in the United States.
And what's the range on a typical drone, sort of from your operating point? Like how far away can you get?
It kind of depends, but the general rule of thumb that we do is line of sight. So, you know, if we're flying too far and we can't see the drone, or if it's obstructed by a building, that's kind of our limit. We don't really go past that. So pretty much as you know, as long as we can see it.
Okay. But how fast do they go?
You can put it in. If I wish I had the remote again, but you can put it in something called sport mode, and I think at least mine, I think it can get like 30 miles an hour.
It's up to 30.
Yeah.
It's cool, but also like kind of scary.
It's very scary
because like
your drone like basically tilts like all the way like that.
Yeah,
it's
Okay.
hurtling through the air. But
the max speed's about 30.
Okay. And how much does a drone cost? I'm thinking about if your drone crashed, what, you know.
Yeah, so it kind of depends on the one you get. I know mine was the new one, the Mavic Pro 2 is about 2,000. And I don't know how much that one was, about 15 maybe.
The Mavic Air, yeah, it was 1,000.
1,000, yeah. So the newer, it's kind of like an iPhone, really. You know, they have new models, and you know, of course, the new one will be more expensive with new features. But yeah, if you were to crash it and break it, it's happened to me a couple times, and it's not cheap to repair. So we try to take really good care of them.
Great. So like, I think you mentioned that you got yours at Best Buy.
Yeah.
What do you get a drone?
Say again.
Where else would someone, you know, be able to purchase?
Yeah, I would say so. The manufacturer of the drones that we have is DJI, and they sell all of them through there. So I bought my new one through their website. But they're very pretty much everywhere. So he got it at Best Buy. You can get it on Amazon, Walmart, really anywhere. Their drones have really exploded over the past couple of years that they've just become so much more common to find in like a normal store that you'd see.
Okay. Well, and your photographs are for sale on your website, you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
All of them are for sale. Not all of them, but you know, the ones that we think you know, print well. And we also have frames, so you can check them out. DroneLawrence.com/shop.
And you can go see them in person as well. They're at the Phoenix Gallery and at Wheatfields Bakery downtown. Yeah.
Great. Is that at Wheatfields? Is that like a part of like a rotating display, or?
Yeah. They went up before the holidays, and because Wheatfields isn't open for dine-in yet, I think we'll hold our slot there maybe longer than a traditional rotating artist would. But I would imagine they'll be up for at least a couple more months.
Okay. Have you shown your photographs anywhere else?
We will be showing our photographs at the Lawrence Art Auction. That photo that I showed you, the Campanile silhouette, we're going to be donating that to the Lawrence Art Auction coming up in a couple months. And then if the Art in the Park, I think it's scheduled to come back in September, the big art show in South Park, we're going to attempt to have a booth there so that more people can come and check out our stuff.
Okay. Cool. Well, try to keep these at about 20 minutes, and so we're right there. Is there anything else you want to share with us before wrapping up?
I don't think so. I mean, if anyone's watching this and this is the first time hearing about us, go check out our page. We're at Drone Lawrence, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, anywhere really on social media. We're there. We already mentioned the prints, but yeah, it was great talking to you today, Scott.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate your coming on and
Of course.
about all this. So, all right, and I will. I'll post some of those photos as well to share those. So,
Okay, yeah,
That'd be great.
appreciate that.
thanks, guys.
Yep. See ya.